Hi
Hi,
guys, good morning.
good morning.
Welcome and thank you for joining us on the stream this morning. Shall we introduce ourselves? Do
Absolutely.
you want to start?
My name is Aaron. I'm 22 years old. I'm from Cork, Ireland, and I've been living in Bologna for 4 years, and I've been working at my English school, Bologna, for 2.5 years.
Nice. My name is Sophia. I come from London, but I have lived in Bologna for the last 4 years. And for a year and a half, I have been working at my English school, Bologna Mille.
Mhm.
So,
Please introduce yourselves. Tell us about you. Where are you from? What do you do?
your name,
Your name,
very
exactly.
important.
Very, very important. And tell us, what is always in your suitcase? What do you
Yes.
always have in your suitcase when you go on holiday?
Yeah.
Remember that a suitcase is
Your big luggage, your bag that you use to travel. Okay.
exactly.
So
So what is always in your suitcase?
What is the necessary item that you always have in your suitcase? Okay, we are waiting for your comments and to meet you. What do you always have in your suitcase when you travel?
I always have my clothes. I always have my phone charger.
Oh, that's important. Yeah, let's write that. So a phone charger. What you need for the battery on your phone.
I always have. Oh, hi.
Oh, Gabriela, hi. Nice to see you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Absolutely. And
Hi, Antonella as well. Antonella from Naples. Hi, thank you for joining us.
Welcome. Tell us what is always in your suitcase.
Yes, what are the essential items that you always have when you travel?
Always have in your suitcase.
Okay, you said clothes, phone charger. I'll write up clothes as well.
What is always in your suitcase?
So I always have, for me, it is very important because I love to read. And when I travel, especially if I'm on a bus, a plane, a train, especially on a plane, because on a plane, I cannot use my phone. So especially on an airplane, I like to read. So for me, I always have a book in my suitcase when I go on holiday. A book or my Kindle is very, very important for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I always have snacks in my suitcase because when I'm traveling, I often get hungry.
Yeah,
so
you get snacky.
Yeah, I get snacky, especially on a plane. And snacks on a plane are usually incredibly expensive, especially if you're flying Ryanair.
Yeah,
definitely not sponsoring this video. So I always have snacks.
Nice.
And then it says, for me, very important in my suitcase is my camera.
Yeah, that's very nice. Good one. Are you a amateur photographer, Antonella? Do you?
Maybe she's a professional photographer.
Maybe she's a professional photographer. Tell us, Antonella, do you like taking pictures? Yeah, and tell us, what do you always have? Another essential for me to have is, of course, my toothbrush and my toothpaste. These are very important.
In general, we have a term to talk about all of these things that you use in the toilet, let's say. It's called the toiletries.
Exactly.
So your toothbrush, your toothpaste, your deodorant, your shampoo, your body wash, your soap.
So these are your toiletries, all the bathroom necessities that you need. Yeah, my toiletries are important. I have, it's not a very big bag of toiletries. Some people I know, they go on holiday and their toiletries bag is like a separate suitcase.
Exactly.
Mine is sort of small, medium size.
Yeah. Mine is very small.
Yeah, I think you have maybe very.
What else do I always have in my suitcase?
Yeah. If you are joining us now, your question is coming across the bottom. Introduce yourselves and tell us, what do you always have in your suitcase? What are the necessities when you travel? Some things are already in the comments.
And Chiara, hi, welcome.
Hi, Chiara, welcome. Hi, I'm Chiara. For me, very important in my suitcase are toiletries.
Excellent, very
nice.
good. Also, and very nice dog as well.
Oh, it's so cute.
Very cute. And Gabriela says, for me, it's very important to have a book and headphones.
Yeah.
Excellent.
You have your headphones.
I have my headphones right here.
Yeah, there they are.
Yes, these are very important. These are always in my suitcase because they are big and they basically cut me out from the outside world.
So now you cannot hear me?
Well, I can, but
can you like? I can say anything I want, and you
no,
cannot
I
hear
can
me?
hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you. Don't worry. But it's great, especially when I'm playing music. It means that on the plane I don't hear people talking. I don't hear babies crying.
You don't hear the safety announcement.
The safety announcement. I don't hear when they're like. Exactly.
Nice. Good. Tell us what else is necessary for you in your suitcase when you are traveling. For me, also, when I look at you showing off your Star Wars mug.
My Chewbacca mug.
When I go on holiday in the summer, it's very important for me to have my sunglasses. And it's very important, Antonella says, I agree with Aaron. For me, sunglasses are important, especially my sunglasses, because I wear glasses. So my sunglasses are graded, so I can see with my sunglasses. So these are essential. I cannot forget my sunglasses and go on holiday and say, oh, it's okay, I will buy some new sunglasses. I need my particular sunglasses.
Exactly.
And
graded the same. Graded sunglasses. But unfortunately, possibly my sunglasses are the things I forget the most. I usually arrive and I'm like, sunglasses. I usually see the sun. It's in my face. I'm like, oh, I forgot my sunglasses.
This is because you lived your entire life in Ireland and Lombardy, so it was never really necessary to have sunglasses.
That's probably why.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of no sun, another essential item for you.
Yes, is my sunscreen. Yeah. Sunscreen is essential.
In fact, Fernando Stefano just said the same thing.
Yes, for me, it's sun cream is very important. Exactly. Sunscreen, sunblock. Yeah,
so many words for it. What happens if you don't have your sunscreen?
I become very, very red, like a lobster. I don't tan particularly well. So I become very red. Yeah. And it's very painful.
We've got some different words. We can say sun cream, sunscreen, sunblock, or suntan lotion. Any of these are correct. Depending on where you are, where you come from, you can use any of these words.
And hi, Bruno from France.
Oh, wow, nice. Wonderful. Hi, Bruno, welcome. Tell us what is necessary. What do you always have in your suitcase when you travel or you go on holiday? So in the summer, sunglasses and sunscreen are essentials. Snacks.
In the winter, a hat.
Absolutely.
Which I forgot on our last winter trip. We went to Innsbruck in Austria, and I forgot my hat.
It was very cold.
It was very cold, yes.
Did I have two hats, or I had a hat and a scarf?
Yes, you had a hat and a scarf, and so I stole your hat.
Yeah, it's true. Bruno says, I have a book and a sweater because it's often cold.
Yes, it's true, especially on the plane.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Airplanes are surprisingly cold.
It's true.
So when I am on a summer holiday, I always need a sweater only for the plane.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Nice. Good job.
That's excellent. I'm trying to think of other things.
And to have a hair diffuser. I think you mean a hair dryer, Gabriela. Maybe you mean a hair dryer. So to
cap is more, you use it in the summer.
Like a sports cap.
Exactly. The cap is usually for the sun.
Yeah. So I would say a hat, Fernando. In the winter, it's very important. A hat is very important. Yeah. By the way, Gabriela, I agree. Also, for me, it's absolutely necessary to have a hairdryer. In fact, if I go to stay in a hotel, usually I call the hotel in advance to say, do you have a hairdryer? Because It's absolutely essential for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my hairdryer is big, it's heavy, so I cannot travel with the hairdryer.
2 kilo hairdryer.
Yeah, it is. It's very heavy. Okay, nice. Shall we look at our focus?
Let's start.
Awesome. So in this focus, we are planning a holiday.
Yes. So think of your...
So yeah, guys, I think this is your moment to use your fantasy.
Yes,
use
your imagination. Exactly. In this focus activity.
Me?
Yes.
Okay, so using going to for future intentions, planning a holiday, and proposing some holiday ideas.
Yes. So here we have the start or the beginning of a question. Okay. We would like you in the comments to write the full question.
Exactly. Write the full question. Pay attention to your question words. Okay. So for example, if you look at number 2, last time you traveled, use these words to think of the correct question words. And think also of the tense. Okay. For example, in number 5, you might need a very particular tense to complete the question.
And welcome, Fiorella.
Hi, Fiorella. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
So we're making questions, okay? So remember, question word, auxiliary, subject, infinitive.
Exactly. So don't forget your quasi structure. I'll write this up as well. Okay. So your question word, auxiliary, subject, and infinitive.
This is for past simple or present simple, but it could also be, oh, hi, Alessio.
Hi, welcome. Alessio. Thank you for joining us. And Rita has got the first one.
What was your best holiday ever? Yes,
perfect.
Very good.
Very
Excellent.
nice. Good job.
Good.
So Rita provided us with the question. Thank you, Rita. And you guys are free to give us the answers. Tell us about your best holiday ever. This will be difficult because I have been on a lot of very good holidays in my life. I don't know if I can choose the best one. It's difficult.
Very difficult. Yeah.
I think definitely Dubrovnik
is in my top 3.
In the top 3. Dubrovnik was wonderful.
Yes. We went to Dubrovnik last summer.
August,
In August.
It was only for 3 days, and it was was it 3 days or 2? No, it was 2 days. It was only for 2 days, but it was very, very special.
Yes, very special. The city is amazing.
It's beautiful, and we absolutely recommend it. So not the best holiday ever, but definitely one of the best.
One of the best, definitely.
You can also answer this question. Tell us about your best holiday ever. Where did you go? Who were you with? And why was it the best holiday ever? Yeah.
Exactly.
Very nice. Good job, Rita.
Yes, so tell us also the other questions. Let's make them.
Yeah, I'll put the quasi structure back.
Yes, so the next one, again, is a past simple question. So the structure will be the one right there.
Good. Nice, Gabriel. Oh, wait, let me go to Bruno first. He says, I went in Guadeloupe last month. We were on a sailing boat and had a tour around the island. Wonderful.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Where is Guadeloupe? Guadeloupe.
I've heard of it.
Is it in France?
No, I don't think so.
Don't forget, Bruno, go and to. I went to always. Okay. Gabriella
is on the third question. I think.
On the third question. Good, close. Gabriella, be careful to put the verb at the end. When will your next holiday be? Okay, remember that the infinitive goes at the end of the question for the quasi structure.
Exactly, but good job. Yep. Number 3 is when will your next holiday be, or what will your next holiday be, or where will your next holiday be? Yeah.
Fiorella gives us number 2. When was the last time? When was the last time you traveled? When did you travel the last time? Exactly.
Yeah. I would say, when was the last time you traveled?
Chiara, when did you last? Let me write this question so that everybody can see it, okay? Because we have some very imaginative and creative. When was the...
So, yeah, exactly. So remember that the quasi form is useful for any regular verb, but with the verb to be, we just use the verb to be.
Exactly. Okay. This one is a bit different. When was? Because it's a subject question? No.
No, it's because it's the verb to be.
Okay.
With the verb to be, we just invert subject and verb.
Exactly.
So when was the last time you traveled?
Yeah. When was the last time you traveled, Aaron?
Good question.
Remember that you can also answer these questions in the comments, okay?
The last time I traveled, was it Innsbruck?
Christmas?
Christmas?
Yes,
absolutely, yeah. I went to Ireland for Christmas.
Nice.
It feels like so long ago.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I went back to Ireland for Christmas. I stayed there for about a week, maybe. And yeah, I went to visit my grandparents. Nice. We had Christmas in Ireland, which was very nice with all of our family.
Yeah, the last time I traveled was, I'm quite lucky. I traveled last month. I went to Berlin for 3 days at the end of February. Nice. So I was quite lucky.
Very nice. Alessia gives us number 3. Where are you going to go in your next holiday? Yeah, that's good.
Good. I would just change one thing, Alessia, on your next holiday. Okay. Chiara for 4 says what was, or you can say what is. You can use it in the present. The most interesting city to visit.
But both are fine. What was the most interesting city to visit? You're talking about someone's experience.
Yeah, that's fine.
As well, yeah.
My last travel
last trip.
Yeah, my last trip was to Austria for Christmas time. Wonderful. Christmas in Austria must be magical.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Remember to use trip and not travel. Travel is the verb.
Exactly. So trip, the noun, travel is the
verb.
I'll put this up. Okay. Trip and
Rita says which was or which is the most interesting city to visit. Perfect. Well done. How many countries? In this case, I would use. It's not wrong, but I would use present perfect because it's a life experience.
Yeah, I mean, you can say how many countries did you visit in a very specific period of time. How many countries did you visit last year? How many countries did you visit on your last trip, for example? It's correct. If we're talking about in general, in your entire life, use present perfect. How many countries have you visited? Okay. But Gabriela, if you're talking about a particular time, for example, last year, it's perfect.
Exactly.
It's just fine.
But if you're talking about life experience, how many countries have you visited?
Yeah.
Number 5. So how many? Ooh, this is interesting.
Yeah. Well, shall we go in order? Maybe. Shall we go back to question 3 and do these in order? Remember where is it? I'm trying to find question 3. Here we go. We'll keep this one up. Yeah. Remember to answer these questions as well in the comments.
So now we've completed all of them. So please give us your answers as well. Where are you going to go on your next holiday?
So I have booked my ticket to go to Greece in the summer to visit my family. I have booked my flight for the 29th of July. I hope that I'm going to go to Greece in July. I hope.
So fingers crossed. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
And for you?
I don't know. I haven't booked actually. So who knows? Probably back to Ireland as well for the summer. We'll see. We'll see. Not really sure. 4. What is the most interesting city to visit or that you visited? This is a very good question.
Yeah, it is a good question. I definitely think Venice is a very interesting city to visit. It's completely unique. I don't think there is anything anything similar to Venice in the world. It's very, very unique. So for me, I think the most interesting city to visit is Venice.
Yeah. Another very interesting city to visit, I think, is Florence, especially if you love art.
Yeah,
because there's just so much stuff there, or Rome even as well. What do you think? Which is the most interesting city to visit? Yeah,
we talked about Italian cities, but you can tell us also about cities abroad, which you think are interesting cities to visit.
Or maybe we had a student earlier from France, so maybe tell us about some very interesting cities, Bruno, I think.
Yes.
In France to visit.
Absolutely. Rita says,
how many countries would you like to visit?
Exactly. So if you have would, the modal verb, it's not necessary to use do, okay? They're both auxiliaries in this case. So would you like
And Alessio says the most interesting city I visited is Madrid. Wonderful.
Oh, nice.
Wonderful.
Nice.
And Fiorella says I'm going to Rimini for my next holiday. Excellent. Great. And Bruno says, I think that European capitals are interesting. Excellent.
Yeah, all European capitals have something.
Definitely.
Budapest is fantastic. Budapest has is amazing, very interesting. And yeah, I'd like to visit also Vienna. I think that's a European capital that I would like to visit.
Me too, definitely. Vienna is on my list. And Antonella says the most interesting city I visited was New York.
Yeah, the most exciting.
The most exciting, yes.
Very nice, Antonella. Good job.
I've never visited New York, but it's definitely on my list. And Chiara says my last trip was in Krakow. It's a very interesting city.
Yeah, don't forget your article, Chiara. It's a very interesting city. Krakow is. I absolutely want to visit Poland, and especially I want to visit Krakow. So I think actually I changed my mind. Krakow is the next city.
Top of the list.
For my next small holiday, like a city break, I would like to go to Krakow just for 3 days, just to visit the city.
Yeah.
This will be my next weekend getaway or city break. I'll write these words up because they're very useful.
Yeah, especially if you live in Europe, weekend getaway or a city break is very common when you go for a weekend or for a few days to a different city.
A getaway, you might have noticed, is 2 separate words moved together, okay? Get away, so escape, a weekend escape or a city break. I always say that this type of holiday was invented by Ryanair, okay? You are looking on the Ryanair website and you think, Barcelona, 20 euros, let's go. So you leave on Friday, you spend 2 days in Barcelona, and then you come back on Sunday, city break.
Exactly.
Finished.
Ferdinando says, the most interesting city I visited is Rome.
Good, nice. And
the most interesting city I visited was Paris.
Wonderful. Nice job, guys.
Good answer. I've never visited Paris.
No, me neither.
Stopped over in Paris because I needed to, it was a connecting flight.
To Venezuela.
Yeah. Back when they still flew to Venezuela.
They don't fly anymore?
They don't fly to Venezuela anymore.
They just stopped flying?
Yeah. That's how bad the country is right now, unfortunately.
Goodness. Alessio says, I am very afraid to get Ryanair's plane. But why? They're absolutely safe.
They're safe, yes.
They're safe.
They just treat you badly.
If you don't mind being treated like an animal for a couple of hours, that's
okay. They're very cheap. I usually don't have any space for my legs.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Imagine I don't have space for my legs, so you poor thing.
Someone says, I went to Barcelona by plane and paid €1.
What?
How is that possible?
Come on, that's not true.
Wait, €1 return or €1 one way? I'm really interested here because the cheapest I've ever heard was
10.
No, 5. I had a student that told me she went to Greece, I think. It was possibly Crete.
Okay.
And she paid €5.
Wow.
But €1 is insane.
Antonella, be careful. Where is it? So I went by plane for the transport, or if you want to use the verb fly, use it as a verb. I flew to Barcelona. Okay.
So Antonella says AR, I think, is Going and back.
Yes.
So return.
Wow.
€2 return. That is
Damn.
incredible.
So of course you go.
Of course you go for €2.
Yeah. The most relaxing city I visited is Isle of Kale in Kenya. Wonderful.
Wow.
Yes.
Really great.
Very good. Is or was, Gabriella, both are correct, because the Isle of Kale still exists. It's there, so it still is the relaxing.
But you can also
city.
use past simple if you're talking about the specific experience.
Antonella says, but many years ago. Very nice, cool.
Still €2.
Yeah, I know. That's amazing.
Wow.
Let's go to, where is question 5? I'm interested to see.
Yes, to tell us your number.
Yeah, tell us your number. How many? Wait, I'm trying to find.
I think it's lower down.
Probably.
I think I wrote it somewhere. How many? Here, there we go. How many countries have you visited? Question 5.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is interesting. Let's count. So we are not counting stopovers.
No, we're not counting stopovers. You have, if you stayed in the airport, it doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
Okay.
No, you need to have visited
the actual
place. Exactly.
Gosh, let me think.
I'm trying to count exactly how many. I think you're going to beat me for sure.
Are we counting Scotland as a separate country?
I would like to.
Yeah.
Let's count it.
I will say approximately 10 for me. Approximately 10. I'll count. Oh no, 12. Maybe 12.
Okay. I'm trying to think of any others that I've been to, but I'm going to say, do we count Sicily? No.
No, we don't count Sicily as a country.
I'm kidding, of course. I'm trying to think of any others, but no, I think my total is 8. 8 countries. But I only remember 7.
Vera says, I visited about 10 countries. Nice, good. Be careful of the spelling of your plural, Gabriella. Countries.
Fiorella asks a good question. The most interesting city I visited was or is?
You can use both, because you can use was because you're talking about a past experience. The most interesting city I visited was in the past. But because the city still exists, and because it's like an opinion that still exists, you can also say the most interesting city I visited is Krakow or Paris.
So both are correct.
Both are correct, because technically both are correct.
Yeah.
It was an experience in the past, but
also the city is still there.
And also it's an opinion that you have in the present. So you can use either one, Fiorella.
Yeah, both are correct. Yeah, so tell us, how many countries have you visited?
Yeah, I've lost the question again.
Gabriella says 10, more or less.
Yeah, I think mine is 12. I counted 12 countries, but all of them except one are in Europe.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. What country is not in Europe?
China. I visited China. Yes. Not recently, 10 years ago.
And I've been, I say 8, but I remember 7 because I have been to Australia. The problem is I was 2 years old, so I do not remember anything about Australia. Nice. But technically I have been there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you've been to 2 countries outside of Europe, right? Australia and Venezuela.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, shall we continue?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Why not?
So, feel free to keep answering these questions. They're all in the comments, and we will go on to. Oh wait, let me check one last comment.
Italy is more dangerous than China.
Yeah, don't forget your comparative, Antonella. More dangerous
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah,
and
true.
Possibly now the most dangerous is the United States. So.
Yeah. Though it's less dense, but let's not go into that.
Let's not get into it.
Let's go on to going to for future intentions.
Yes,
okay.
I think we had a student earlier who used it correctly in one of his questions. Alessio, possibly, or
said, which city are you going to visit? Yeah, I have a lot of comments now, so we won't look for it.
But excellent, it's good when you have too many comments to find. Yeah.
So remember your formula, subject plus going to plus the infinitive. Okay, don't forget your infinitives. What we will do is we will make a little story. You've got some sentences to make. I'll read the sentences. So we've got a trip to Hawaii, her aunt and uncle, the beach, a guidebook about snorkeling, suitcase, and a camper. A camper, I'm sure you know what it is because it's the same also in Italian, but just to remind you, a camper is this vehicle right here.
Yes, it's you can go on holiday with it, and yeah, you can sleep in it. And
exactly.
So you have some verbs as well that you can use. We have pack, stay, go, see, travel, buy, rent, read, plan, and visit. So you will need these to complete the sentences.
Exactly.
And we'd like you to use the going to form.
Yeah.
Try to make a story.
Yeah, make for us a story about this girl's holiday using going to and these verbs as your infinitive. Okay, and we're waiting for your comments.
Yes, so remember, going to is a tense that we use to talk about future intentions. So things you would like to do in the future.
Yeah.
Nothing too fixed or nothing too organized.
Yeah, no, it's not
your
organized,
idea.
but it's your plan. Yeah.
I'm going to plan a trip to Hawaii. Excellent.
Very nice.
Well done, Alessio.
Good.
Remember, excellent. Plan is used for organize.
Yeah.
Excellent. Pack, on the other hand, is used to prepare or to put things in your suitcase.
So plan is, as a verb, it means to organize, and to pack
is to prepare a suitcase. Yeah. And Kara says, I'm going to buy a guidebook about snorkeling. Yes, very specific.
Yes. I would say if you want to go snorkeling, don't buy a guidebook, do a course on snorkeling with a qualified instructor. A guidebook will not help you. Yeah. Bruno says, almost, Bruno, you need to use going to plus the infinitive. Okay, so going to pack. Can you write your sentence again, but use the formula that you can see on the slide? Subject, then going to, and then pack, the infinitive.
By the way, remember your verb to be.
Yeah.
So subject, verb to be, going to, and infinitive.
Yeah,
right?
In fact, they
always forget it, unfortunately.
You need to write that down.
Yeah. Rita says, I'm going to rent a camper. Excellent.
Wonderful.
So subject,
Very
verb
good.
to be, going to, and rent a camper.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Nice answer.
Rent is when you, you pay for a product or a service for a certain time.
Exactly. So you don't buy it. It's not yours. You pay, as you said, you pay for it for a small amount of time.
And she's going to stay at home with her aunt and uncle.
Wonderful.
Nice.
Very nice, Gabriella. Good use also of third person.
Excellent.
Very good.
Very good. I'm going to stay at my aunt's house.
Good, Fiorella. I didn't see this one. I'm going to stay at
my aunt's house. Yes. Excellent. Well done. Well done.
Good job, guys. Okay. I think, did we do all of them? Oh, Alessio's making it into a question.
Well done, Alessio.
Dang.
Are you going to buy a guidebook about snorkeling? Well done. And Antonella made it about you. Sophia is going to stay with her aunt and uncle.
Yeah, actually, with is better here. With her aunt and uncle. I wish I had an aunt and uncle in Hawaii. If I had an aunt and uncle in Hawaii, I would not have problems.
Bruno says, I'm going to pack my suit. Perfect. This is correct now. Excellent. This is for the future. It's your intention.
Yeah. Very nice, Bruno. Good job. Okay. Did we do all of them?
All of them.
I think we missed 3. Number 3, the beach. There's only one we didn't do. Can we do one with the beach?
Yeah, and what did I want to say? Yes, good job, Alessio, with the question.
Yeah,
with the question, we
correct.
Invert the verb to be and the subject. So, are you going to buy a guidebook about snorkeling? Well done.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get number 3, the
with
beach.
the beach.
And then I think we need to do some brainstorming.
Yes.
So let me write a banner in the meantime. Where are we? What do you see in the city?
Yeah. What are some things to see in a city? We're going to brainstorm some vocabulary for the next slide. Careful, you've got to be.
Oh my god.
There you go. Got it.
Add banner. Right, here we go. Let me hide this one and we'll bring up this one.
And we have some comments. Excellent. So I'm going to go to the beach.
Okay, remember, go to Antonella always. I'm going to read my favorite book on the beach, okay? I'm going to rent a camper for a trip to Hawaii. Good.
Gabriella's as well. I'm going to read a book on the beach.
Good, there we go. So notice on the beach. It's
Excellent.
A surface on the beach.
I'm going to stay with my aunt and uncle, and I'm going to plan a day at the beach with them.
Very nice. And I'm going, again, Runa, I'm going to go to the beach with my swimsuit. Yeah. Good job, guys. Very nice. So let's have some ideas. What are some things to see in a city, okay, for the next part?
Yeah, so tell us in the comment, what are some things to see in a city? Think of places, think of objects to see.
Think about your holidays to Paris, to Madrid, to Krakow. What other European cities did we mention? I don't remember.
Somebody said New York earlier.
New York as well. So what did you see in these cities okay, when you went sightseeing? I'll write this up.
Sightseeing. Yes, remember the pronunciation is sightseeing. Yeah.
Visiting monuments in a city.
What are some things to see in a city?
So, for example, if you come to Bologna, a very important place to see is the central square. So I'll put a square.
Rita says monuments, churches, museums, and parks. Excellent.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
Monuments, churches, museums, parks, squares, like Sophia said.
Very good.
Yeah, especially if you're going to somewhere like Florence, as I said. Museums and churches are at the top, need to be at the top of your list.
Absolutely. What if you went to, for example, San Francisco? There is a very important thing to see. A very important bridge, exactly. Would be another one.
Very important bridge. What else could we? Yeah, monuments. Of course, if say you're in New York, you have the Statue of Liberty, or
yeah, definitely. So statue would be another one. Some statues are very important to see too. All right, I think we've got enough ideas. So let me take this down and let's go on. So we have, as you can see, some important things to see in different places. We're going to use for future intentions. For example, we're going to fly to Toronto. These are your verbs.
Yeah, so make some more examples. So make some more going to phrases.
For the different pictures that you can see. Your verbs are visit, travel, tour, explore, fly, and go. So we'll make sentences using the pictures that you can see, A, B, C, D, and E.
Bruno says factory. It could be.
What kind of factory? Also, do you mean farm, maybe, Bruno?
It could be both.
Yeah. But what factory would you visit?
Well, sometimes.
Like if you go to the Ducati factory and
yeah, exactly.
I
mean, I visited a chocolate factory when
yeah,
I went to the UK. So
yeah, so a famous factory if it's
yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, I was about to say, like in Dublin, you go to the Guinness brewery.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a beer factory technically. Yeah, it's true. It's one of the most important landmarks in Dublin.
When I was in London, I saw a lot of landmarks like Tower Bridge, the Shard, Trafalgar Square, London Eye, etc. Very nice. Good job, Alessio. Nice. Okay, so let's have some sentences with going to. Okay. Good, Gabriela. But tell us a full sentence, okay? It's not one correct answer. There are many different correct answers, okay? So you can give us a full sentence just as an example.
My partner and I, excellent, are going to visit the Eiffel Tower.
Very nice.
And Chiara says we're going to explore San Francisco. Excellent.
Good. Without to, Chiara, we're going to explore San Francisco. Okay, you don't need to with explore. Fly to and go to, yes, because we have a movement in a particular direction. But when I am in San Francisco and I go around, explore without to.
Yeah. We're going to climb the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
On is not necessary.
Yeah.
So we're going to climb the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. Good. Climb on the Eiffel Tower sounds like you're on the outside of the tower and you're just climbing up like this, just like a monkey or something.
Yeah. In general, you can use climb on, but it's usually you're on the outside going up. So in this case, just climb.
Climb the Eiffel Tower. Okay, nice. Good ideas, guys. Let's have some more examples. What places?
I'll make the next banner in the meantime.
Yeah. Places to stay. So in the pictures, I can see New York. I think this must be Madrid. She has a Spanish flag, or is that a Portuguese flag? It's a Spanish flag. That's obviously Paris. That looks like the Golden Gate Bridge in D in San Francisco. And E must be Tiananmen Square in
I don't know if it's Tiananmen.
Beijing.
Is that not the Forbidden Palace, maybe?
Oh, you think it could be the Forbidden Palace, the Forbidden City. Yeah, let's have a look. When this situation of emergency is finished, I am going to visit the USA. Very
Excellent.
nice.
Good job, Alessia. Good job.
And what are you going to see in the USA? Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on to our next question.
So, what are some places to stay when you're on holiday?
Yeah, so think about your accommodation.
My husband and I are going to explore around South Africa.
Nice. Good one, Gabriela. Very nice.
So think of accommodation. Let's brainstorm accommodation. Where could you stay when you're on holiday?
Mm-hmm. Let us know in the comments some places to stay. I'm
thinking, does accommodation have 2 M's?
Yeah, I'm almost sure that's the correct spelling. Almost sure. Yeah, so a very obvious one. The first one that comes to mind is hotel, but it's actually not.
Tell us more in the comments.
Yeah, it's not the most common one either. I think,
but it depends really.
It depends on the type of trip.
Exactly. Yeah. I'd say if you're on a business trip, it's definitely the most.
It's going to be a hotel.
It's going to be a hotel. Yeah, most common.
Yeah,
so
but
tell
it's
us
not the most pleasant. Yeah, let's brainstorm some places to stay. So, for example, a hotel.
And tell us more.
Yeah. So, for example, maybe a hotel, but.
It says a camping ground.
Fantastic. Yeah. Very good idea.
You can say a camping ground or a campsite.
Yes, another idea is a campsite.
Adonis says, I prefer to book at home.
A home.
Oh, book a home on Airbnb.
Yeah, good. I prefer to book. Remember, Antonella, after I prefer to book, or I prefer booking a home on Airbnb.
Excellent.
Yeah, me too. I prefer Airbnb.
This is what I prefer as well.
It's much more friendly and welcoming.
I reserve a B&B.
Very nice. Yes. Good. So we have an Airbnb, B&B, campground, hotel. What about also it's similar to a hotel, but it's usually much more economic. It's much cheaper. It's more for students or backpackers. Guest house is also good.
Yeah, definitely.
And sometimes there are many beds in one room. So you can have a room with 4 or 6 or 8, even 10 beds in one room. They're very cheap and they are more for younger people, backpackers. Do you know what this is?
This is a hostel.
Very nice. Yeah, good guys. You all got it. Alessia got it. Chiara got it. Antonella got it.
Close, but yeah.
Yes, it is in fact a hostel. Okay.
Excellent. Good job, guys.
So let's go on to the next slide about accommodation. The same thing again, we're going to use going to for future intentions, but this time we are talking about accommodation. So your verbs are stay, sleep, and rent.
Or reserve.
Or reserve. Good, Gabriella.
Yeah, she used it in the present, but you can also use it for the future. Usually I reserve a hotel.
Yeah.
Or book a hotel.
Yeah, good. So let me write these as well. Two verbs, to book.
Or to reserve. Both are correct. You usually reserve a room in a hotel.
Yeah.
And Rita says, I think I'm going to stay in a B&B, not far from the city centre, because I prefer staying in a comfortable position for going around.
Very nice, Rita.
Excellent.
Good job.
Excellent.
Yeah, so just like Rita did, and just like the example, let's make some sentences using stay, sleep, rent, and as Gabriella also suggested, reserve or book. We can see some different types of accommodation on the slide. I can see the campsite that Bruno mentioned. Did I write campsite?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
We also have a very fancy hotel.
Yeah, it looks like a nice hotel.
D is probably an apartment.
Yeah, apartment or a guest house.
Maybe, yeah. E is a castle.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think you can stay in that castle.
Maybe you can.
Maybe you can, I don't know.
Oh, you've stayed in a castle.
I have stayed in a castle before. But yeah, in Scotland.
Yeah, I've never stayed in a castle, but I have stayed in a tent.
I think you won this.
And A, I imagine, is a beach house.
Yes, probably.
Nice, a beach house.
We are going to sleep in a castle.
Very
nice.
Excellent. Yeah. Is that how your parents told you? They said, we're going to sleep in a castle. And you were so happy?
Yeah, because I stayed in a castle for my parents' wedding. They got married about 10 years ago. And they booked a hotel for the ceremony, and also we stayed there 1 or 2 nights. I can't remember now. It was very, very nice. And it was in January for some unknown reason, which meant that it was completely empty. It was only us in the entire castle.
That's fantastic.
Because usually there are different people there, different rooms, but no, it's just us.
But just you? You mean your family or your extended family?
My extended family. It wasn't a big ceremony, but there were my grandparents, there was my aunt, there were my cousins.
That's fantastic.
And a friend of my dad's and a friend of my mum's. They were the 2 witnesses.
Nice. That's really cool. Bruno says, I'm going to rent a car for my next holiday. Nice. And Gabriela says,
I slept in a castle many years ago in Florence.
That's fantastic, Gabriela. Very good answer. No notes. Perfect. Good. Shall we maybe do you think we have time for the next one? Or shall we stay on this one?
I think we should stay on this one, yeah.
What is A? A, I think, is a beach house.
Yes.
Okay.
Usually you can rent the entire house.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can find them maybe on Airbnb or just as an apartment to rent. Yeah. I'd love to stay in a beach house. It's great when you can just leave the house and
you're
walk
on the beach.
Yeah.
I probably have stayed in a beach house in the past. In Greece, I've probably stayed in a beach house, and I just can't remember because maybe it's not actually on the sand on the beach, but it's across the road. So
very close.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, bungalow.
Oh, yeah, that's another good one. We'll write bungalow. Did you know that this is an Indian word that we have appropriated in English? Yeah, the origin is Indian, and it's a house with just 1 floor, 1 story.
Okay, so let's review. When we're talking about future intentions, we use going to. The structure is subject, verb to be, going to, and the infinitive. I'm not going to sleep in a castle because there could be ghosts.
You know what, Alessio, this would be my biggest fear, staying in a castle. I would not be able to sleep. Be careful of the pronunciation of certain words like suitcase and swimsuit. Okay, any word which has this word in suit, we do not pronounce the I. Okay, so suitcase and swimsuit.
Yes, so suitcase, swimsuit, if you are staying with a tent, it's a campsite or a camping ground.
Exactly. Okay. I think
we're out of time.
We're out of time.
So remember to check out our SOS English page
group. Yeah. Facebook
on
group.
Facebook. Very useful if you have any questions. My SOS and. Yeah, we'll see you next time. There should be another webinar in about 10 minutes if you want to stay on. Gabriela says, I'm going to sleep.
By bag. Maybe in a sleeping bag.
In a sleeping bag.
Under the stars. I have slept. Well, that's another accommodation we should say. Just under the stars. I have also slept under the stars on a beach. Okay, guys.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you
have a
next
great
time.
day.